No puto. Also alive, puto. Thank you.
That is correct.
There's a reason why Ford will never get banned, because he is based.
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything.
But why? Because you're fat, boy.
Hey, fuck you.
Correct.
Fucking, are you loading in the game?
Correct.
Yeah, you're gonna take like 5 fucking goddamn years because you're fucking schwittingus.
Correct.
And you're stupid.
But why? Correct.
And you eat shit.
Correct.
But you won't die.
I'm dead.
Never mind, he did die. Alright, what's up?
Correct.
I'm gonna finish the Dorktide event. Why? Because we hate it.
Because you're fat, boy.
It's fucked up.
My professional opinion? Because you're fat, boy. Well, that was idiotic. Off to hang myself, hot and loud.
Shut up.
All you need is a foot up your ass!
Are you done?
Do you love black people?
I do love black people. Do you love black
Beta!
people? Do you love black people? I'm gonna interpret that as a no.
Correct.
Do you see now all this murder and you still a Mogus?
Fucking okay. Putis, are you okay? Are you losing your fucking marbles?
Correct.
Why are you going McFucking schizo face? Everything is shit? That's true, everything is shit. Alright, let's get the shit over with. Well, everything is not so shit, Putis. I at the very least have a kitten. So, I mean, I guess I got that going for me. And she's a very silly little girl.
I'm a fucking cat girl, dude.
Shut up, son. Fuck you. No one asked. Dummy. Oh, also, apparently I got a ghost ban on Twitter. That's epic. What's up, Big Jerry? I guess Twitter didn't like me posting too much for some reason, which I find very funny. The point of a website is to post on that website, and then now all of a sudden you get punished for posting too much. It's like, okay, sure, man. Basically, I can't see my replies. True. That would probably actually fix my ghost ban. That's true, Putis. And mutant voice chat, mutant chat. Never invite to strike team. Putis, you're still in loading? What the fucking sputinguk are you doing, you sputink? It's fucking Putis.
Stupid idiot developers!
Yeah, that sounds like cope to me, dude. Putis, what happened? Well, that gives me time to open up my gifts in Pokemon Go, so I'm fine with this. Didn't put the game on the SSD. That's an L. And never will. And blocked. Reported. Have to wait for this idiot to load. Yeah, you know what else is 4 updates a year? Your face. Yes. Yes, I do think so. I'm going to an engagement party tomorrow with this. I'm gonna have to, like, sit around and do basically nothing. Because that's what's gonna happen. It's just sitting around and not really doing much of anything. Oh, you're finally here. Nope. These are all, as we say in Romanian, pocaiți, aka religious people. So, nope, not happening. We're just gonna be sitting around the table and probably not really doing much of anything. Sputinguk. I'm pretty sure we got some fucking Putis missions here. Like, very fucking Putis. I think this one's the least Putis. It should still be private. I did not change.
The heretics are too reliant on the old water cartel cogitator array. We're going to exploit that. You'll need cipher idents, but your servo skull can track those down. Uploading the data should be simple enough. Keep your heads and you'll...
Fucking triggered the libtard, dude!
True. Nurgle are a bunch of libtards. This is true and accurate.
Shout out to DGG.
Real? Yo, can I get a shout out from DGG?
Shout out to DGG.
Yo, I love DGG. Love those guys. Pepe. Massive Pepe post. No, I said Pepe, 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 fuck you. Kills you. Yeah, but shout out to DGG.
Lovely. Just the kind of place that makes you want to put down roots, ain't it?
The enforcers gave up on this place decades ago. The administration long before that.
Those come from here. You don't suppose they actually
You say
eat
so?
some of that, do you?
This still proves you can be effective. Perhaps you can head to the bazaar and scan for idents.
Now is the proper time!
putis. Yo, I saw this. I saw that failed parkour, Lucas. I saw that. Flipped. He's coping. Why are you coping?
Proximity. Yes, yes. This is the scan location. You will
Shout out to
require
DGG.
auspices to track down our quarry.
Where the fucking Papega's Papega?
Data is complete in this area. Upload your findings to the servo scout. Cipher ident acquired. Crypt key access granted. Proceed to elevator. If you call that elevator, you'll get company.
This is a bizarre. Lot of local conflict here by the look of it. They're hiding! Not for long!
Appears for that lot. Continue with the mission.
Found a free heal.
More crime this, scanning the drywall that, microwaving mice is wrong, they say.
Oh, fuck's fate. Oh, fuck, I wanted to kill those guys. These fucking poopies. You already have your pendants. Fuck you. Kills you. Get your damn ammo crate with this.
Locked up tight. Good job you stole that cipher ident. Those security stacks will block the data upload. Analysis recommends data retrieval at this site. Data inbound. Continue. Defend. Retry. Resume.
Ah, baited you into it. Get owned. Get owned, liberal. Well, get owned, libtard. Get owned, liberal. Fuck you.
So you have chosen death.
I've chosen to own you in this marketplace of ideas. Why? Because you are putis.
Stop it. Get some help.
No. You are too putis.
Somehow succeeded in resolving the issue.
I know you cover one side, I cover the other one.
Data interrogation rate acceptable.
Not Daho going too far and having to come back to focus. No, they changed the minigame on this one, eh? When did that happen? Alright, thank you, Putis. Fuck you. Well, it's a good thing I have the fucking scanner mod mini game shitter. Possibility for the 2, but the fucking thing from the whatever the fuck is so shit because it's so difficult to read. It's so booty butt cheek, bro. You don't have the fucking mod. Where are you, bitch? Fuck, the bot killed it. Kills myself. Grills myself.
Skill issue.
I'm gonna give you a life issue. Fuck you. Kills you.
Someone.
And eats you.
Skill issue.
Yeah, kills you, eats you, and then kills you again. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. It will. This fucking putingos over here. This literal fucking put.
Talk to the hand.
No. I'm gonna talk to this putis. It's literally in front of me, like a little fucking schnutis. You can suck my ball and cocks. What? Why'd I say that? Why'd I say my ball and cocks?
The Ku Klux Klan!
True. Hey, can we get a truth for that? Wait, train? 21. Why you bring up
21.
say you bringing up Tyler nickname? What the? It's Nick Nam. I still think his fucking Domi story is so stupid. It's like, yeah, I just told people to start calling me Domi. I forgot to feed the cat for her final meal for the day, but she's a little bit of a plump bean.
So you're gonna get in there, secure a foothold, and wait for reinforcements to come take the goods off your hands. Understand?
I'll feed her after this.
We are all part of the Omnissiah's great
She's asleep right now.
They play their role.
Booties! Wakey, it's time for school. Come on. Wake up, it's time for school. Come on, man.
Whoa. Don't call this fucking puto legendary.
The coordinate being based.
The Fordnet is not based. He's cringe.
Can't party alone. Bloody to the elbows! Barrels to the boom!
Oh, hello. You're giving Ford way too much credit. You're 235 and you should never do that. It'll go to his head. And that's not good for anybody.
You're just above the production nexus. Keep going.
Fuck you with this. How the fuck did you get ahead of me? I don't know what the routing for this map is. Fuck you.
Salutations. Padlock online. Data stream. Acceptable quality.
I hate you! Put this...
No, you don't. You're just mad that your team Papaja.
Do not disrupt the flow of data again.
Can't go wrong by going for the head.
Do try not to make a muddle of this task, varlets.
Yeah, literally kills you. Yeah, literally makes you eat shit.
All praise the Omnissiah. Lightning is restored.
Yeah, makes you eat doo-doo.
Delicious.
Yo, eat the poo-poo.
Eat the poo-poo.
Iterative phase nearing completion.
Ford, why are you eating the poo-poo?
Everybody in Uganda.
Eat the poo-poo.
We've got it. Good to proceed.
Doesn't that make you gay?
Code and control.
Why are you gay, Ford? You are gay.
What a mess. Gonna take years to put this right.
I prefer men.
You are gay.
Rangers at it.
This is code and control. Find a way to access the consignment yard. Safety in numbers, folks. Group up.
What?
How can I describe you?
You are gay.
Lesbian?
Homosexual? Do you do you do the obligations?
I want this consignment yard locked down ASAP. Take out those guys via defenses. We don't want to lose any boundaries.
Hello, Ranger. You won't be ending. Promise. Man, the man is killing us, man.
Put this.
Kills you. Kills El Fortus Netus. This is what Fortus Netus deserves to get killed. El Fortus Netus kills.
Do you perform the natural obligations?
This is serious.
Tapped El Fortus Netus.
Keep killing. That's the only way we win this.
Ties of cringe.
No, I whiffed.
The most deadliest gang in Uganda.
Uganda! Lord, what if I send you to Uganda? Yes, I will feed her. Alright. Wakey.
Put this.
Wake up! I know you're sleepy. I have to wake you up though. But do you want a food, baby? Let me give you a nice big old stretch. Okay, baby. Put you down. Come here, girl.
Major, I'm still waiting for that report. Must have got lost in transit, sir. I'll look into it.
And that's the kitten fed. The correct thing to do. I don't know why he was giving Trump any air at all. Whatsoever. There's no point. Okay. Okay, putties. And he did something good for once. I don't know why he's giving Trump the light of day. He should not be giving Trump the light of day. Putties! Because it's clear that Trump does not care. He does not give a shit. So... Okay, clearing out all my tasks. This motherfucker didn't stay caught. Now we wait for El Fordus fucking Netus. Lovely. Final water type I was looking for. Another research task done. Oh boy. 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 Now we sit around and wait for El Fordus Netus to return. Asum Gold saying he's considering to leave Twitch. Should have left like forever ago. Now, Intrepid. Not much longer. We'll get a reroll. Hope we get something not terrible. Okay. Last one, put this.
Okay.
And then we're done.
Let's the bomb up.
Okay. Put this, we need new content in this game.
You are a transgender.
Why are you gay?
We found the source of the poisoning, so you're taking a little trip. Get into the silo, send the heritage packing, and get the water supply restored.
Show's about to start. Let's have the muck-mucks and watch it. We're gonna have such fun! For the
Yeah. I knocked off one of the AI. That's funny. Are you climbing up on top of my lap? Okay, come here, baby. You want shoulder, baby? Yeah, you want shoulder, baby. Come on, baby. On the shoulder. I think he whipped people. You literally whipped. You missed. That was funny. Dude, that's so funny. cat's licking me, tickling the shit out of me. What are you doing, baby? You want to lick? You want to give me licks? I don't want to have your stinky breath. You just, hey, I'm gonna be all stinky like you now.
What?
Why do you want to lick me so bad
You
right now?
ugly.
Why are you licking me? This is not a male cat, this is a female cat, okay? Get it right, dumbass. Come get your fucking grenades, Lucas. Especially with that one you missed. Baby, stop licking. It's okay, girl. You're tickling me, baby.
Lesbian?
I'm not a woman.
Put this.
Are you just happy that you're on my shoulder now, little baby? Hold on. Ah! Big lick. Shoulder baby.
Put this.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
I got you good with that one.
Scotland is not a real country. You are. Put this.
That's funny as fuck, bro. Well, I got you good with that barrel. Are you looking at my shirt now? Why are you in such a licky mood? Why are you licking everything right now? She is happy. I'm aware, yeah, because I just gave her food, so she's happy. Also, I'm letting her be shoulder cat. She loves shoulder cat. She's chilling on my shoulder.
Something is different.
Well, have you ever considered that you're El Putis, Mutis, 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 Mutis?
You and I are a lot alike, mate. Except I'm an owl, and you're Putis.
Yeah, okay, Putis. What are you doing? Alright. Leaves.
We got clear all we're throwing again. Extraction's inbound. Time to leave.
Tough commandos on the mission.
No.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, we're finally done. No more of this Putis shit, Putis. Thank God.
$5 a month. I don't. What are you doing with your life?
The fucking Bad Bunny just jump scare, white woman jump scare, dude. Yeah, the from that sound alert on stream. Oh, you might have stream muted. Yeah, it's Bad Bunny. Kira chats. I refuse to call her Kira chats. She's always Bad Bunny. Well, not only that, well, she never really learned her lessons at all. Oh, Jesus. Jumping off my fucking shoulder now, baby? Is that what you want? What do you want? Just want to give you some pets first. You want to go up? You want to go outside? There you go. Go. I'm also done with that shit, puto. Yeah, fuck this. I'm out. Alright.
Your life is everything. You serve all purpose.
True.
You should kill yourself now.
So true. Fuck you, puto. That all you have to say for yourself? Are you just being El Putius Maximus Mixusifus? Maximum fucking put? Alright, you want to go down just to check out your bowl, and then you just wanted to climb back up? Thank you, Putis. Fuck you. That motherfucker left. Alright, gamers. I'm going to go to the bathroom, stretch my legs, and then grab some water, wash the bowl for the cat. Very cool. And do all that stuff, then we'll switch games and start yapping about shit. I will be right back, gamers. Oh, jeez. Alright. Jesus. Big fucking phlegm nation attack. Alright. Confirmed, old man. I'm gonna constantly clear out my throat and shit. Oh, man. What is going to happen tomorrow? Oh, this video is almost done rendering. Lovely. Alrighty. And the little baby takes a piss in the litter box. What are you doing there? Garbage bag moves. She now must kill the garbage bag. Kill the garbage bag. I must kill it. Kill the garbage bag that is in me, in you. You're making silly noises right now? What are you doing? Trying to take a dump? I know you to. Come on. Do it here. Good girl. You'll figure it out eventually. I believe in you. Oh, I was pissed. You joshing me? You trying to troll me, you little girl? Okay, buddy. Thinking you can piss in a corner? Why do you keep eating that, girl? You keep eating that, and you immediately just want to spit it out. This is why I say you're a silly cat. You keep eating something you don't like. Alright, it's time to make more Caterium. Someone's got a lot of energy. Sir, the cat's just running around like a goof. What are you doing? He's running around like a silly cat? Oh, baby, what are you doing? I know you want to relax in my lap after running around for a little bit. What do you want? Trying to mess up my drawstring, dude? What are you doing? The fuck? What are you doing? What are you looking at? What are you looking at there? What, you want to jump? You want to go there? So you want? What do you want? You're very overstimulated right now. Yeah, I know. Do you want to run around? Go, run. Okay. That's this thing done. Now to make the pumps. Now power for the pumps. Now for the fluid truck. And then more Caterium. figure out a new toy, how it works, huh? She's figured out how a new toy works. Sir, your cat is using her brain. Not maybe a bit of an issue. We'll be fine. Alright, that works. Wait, how the fuck did I make this path work? That's how I made that path work. Alright. Truck. Boom. Boom. Water load 3. Water load 4. Lovely. What are you looking at? I'm getting trolled by a cat. She's just looking at me menacingly, dude. She's just looking at me menacingly. Alright, will this reformed quick wire factory do its job? Oh, we gotta wait for the truck to come by. Oh, we gotta give the fucking place power. Smithers, release the weft. I don't know how that Mr. Burns impression was. Smithers. Oh, here it comes. Is there a fucking mob stuck in a wall? No, it's the asshole. Never mind. Just enough in terms of the head lift. And for you, what's your head lift? Ooh, too much. Are you trying to bite me? Are you trying to be a silly little cat trying to bite me? Are you a silly cat? Be free. You do not desire freedom. Okay, then be caged. I will squish you. Even though you do not desire to be squished, you will be squished. We're gonna squish that cat. Alright, well these shooters should be working just fine. But I suppose it's not, because it's, again, fluid mechanics in this game, and fluid mechanics in this game are extremely annoying. Fine. Secret technique. Another fucking goddamn pump. The most powerful of my secret techniques. That being just to add more fucking pumps. Hmm. Always hated having to finagle with this bullshit. Hmm. Alright, you were behaving like you're supposed to. Now to make you behave like you're supposed to. Ay, 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 ay. That was annoying. Now make me my gold. I mean, Caterium. Oh, finally. And let's start to build some new shit. More specifically, high-speed connectors. High-speed connectors so I can make better gun ammo. That thing's gonna be slightly irritating to have to build around. Oh well. Oh man, I am yawning like a motherfucker. Okay, 90-degree corner. Okay, high-speed connectors. We're just gonna use the base recipe for this stuff. We don't need like a ton of it, but it's good to have a bunch. Used for a bunch of useful things. Later on, mostly. Hmm. I know you're about to fall, though. Pain. Jesus, the fucking flashbang of doom, dude. You know, as much as you want to sleep, silly girl, I would much prefer if you slept in your bed. Go to sleep there. Good baby. So now I don't have to contend with you constantly falling off. All right. I think it's time for us to get started on some of this bullshit. Before I collapse from exhaustion. All right. Do 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 do. Boom boom boom. We do have quite a few things we need to get through. I will not show the avatar feat. Nope. Fuck you. Just because you said that, it will never ever happen again. Because you're a bastard. You've now fucked up, AJ. It's over for you, buddy. You're now cooked. Alright, let's go. Guys, did you know that there's still a lawsuit going on between Idubbbz and H3? Shocker, I know. Remember when Idubbbz, or not Idubbbz, remember when Ethan said that he would drop the lawsuit? Of course. He said that he was going to drop the lawsuit in this comment after Idubbbz's, I believe it's third apology, saying that he was sorry for the message that Destiny said about H3 when, again, during Destiny's and Ethan's spat over Destiny's possession of CSAM material that he had, allegedly, of course, for his potential for a lawsuit that he may have with some OnlyFans girl that he was deciding to fucking chat up. Is it this stupid and ridiculous scenario? Yes. Welcome to fucking anything that occurs with Destiny. Of course, H3 made a video on him, calling him a pedophile, blah, 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 blah. And as a result, Destiny in his DGG chat, offline, of course, said that Ethan probably rapes his kids. Something to that effect, of course, right? Like, not one-to-one exactly. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit, of course. And as a result, there's been a, shall we say, a metaphorical rift between both Ethan and also Destiny. And I mostly think it's just a bunch of fake bullshit. Basically an excuse for Ethan to try to beat back the fact that he is now, quote-unquote, besties with Desti. Okay, that's a really fucking terrible rhyme, but you know what I mean. So, as a byproduct of this, he decided to sue Idubbbz for a thing that Destiny said. And he specifically made sure to choose to do the lawsuit within Canada because of Canada not having as robust free speech protections in comparison to that of the United States of America. Ethan Klein himself has admitted to this in a podcast episode. And just to dispel the rumor real quick, Canada, technically speaking, does have good free speech protections. It depends on the province. So, for example, in the province that I'm in Ontario, we do have anti-slap protections. And I believe also Vancouver and I think BC might also have anti-slap protections. So we do have anti-slap. Just not within Alberta, which is a decrepit shithole of a province that's only good for, I don't know, having some of the most culturally annoying, illiterate dumbfucks who love to constantly soy pog out for a fucking goddamn civil war that's never happening. Very, very stupid. But of course, I was considering to wait until Idubbbz basically decided to make his video as a follow-up explainer. Basically, okay, because Idubbbz has been doing a lot of stupid bullshit when it comes to this whole situation, where he's just giving, like, unnecessary W's to Ethan for, like, no reason, or giving himself unnecessary L's for no reason by trying to explain, like, what exactly is going on. So, from what I understand, the basic gist of what's happening right now in terms of the lawsuit, which Ethan Klein said he would instruct his attorneys to drop, so the fact that it's still here is bullshit, but whatever. He said that basically there was like some arrangements being done between both legal counsels in order to be able to have some like procedural bullshit done, and then eventually for the lawsuit to be over. And then Ethan decides to throw a whole sort of wrench in that particular work by saying, like, no, I want a fucking settled negotiation, right? He wants some form of a settlement, because what Ethan basically wanted was for Idubbbz to have a quote-unquote disavowal of Snark. Now, of course, this is something from a Redditor, and it's being reported here by Kiwi Farms, but so take it with a grain of salt. But basically, a Redditor who attended the hearing in the H3 versus Idubbbz claims, Ian and Ethan's Klein's lawyers could not reach a settlement specifically because Idubbbz refused to denounce snark communities. Again, I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again. There's nothing ostensibly wrong with snark communities. Not really. All snark communities are just a collection of people who shit talk and criticize people. But the thing with Ethan is that he does not like people criticizing him, because he's a little fucking bitch. Yeah, because he's a little fucking bitch. So, Ethan has a big problem with people criticizing him. Why? I don't know, fucking flip a coin. Yeah, flip a coin. Probably because he's a metaphorically dying content creator who's losing popularity, and as a byproduct just wants to stave off all criticism by basically just suing everybody that's around him. Yeah, very, very cool, Ethan. Very, very, not cringe behavior whatsoever. But whatever, there's a bunch of associated morons and charlatans who are all around Ethan, orbiting him to defend all of his, like, stupid freak litigious actions. Kilotonic's video was standing, of course. So, as a byproduct of all of this, we know that the lawsuit is still going on because of the fact that Ethan simply refuses, just refuses, to let the fucking suit go, to accept the fucking L that he was handed to him by the entirety of the fucking commentary sphere, including Moist Critical. He doesn't want to fucking take an L, so as a result, he wants to, like, grab his ball and just be, like, really stupid and annoying and just keep constantly bitching, moaning, and complaining. It's incredibly fucking weak, pathetic behavior from someone who used to be a beloved content creator and who has now completely and utterly fallen to the wayside. But here, I think this is just like Idubbbz basically announcing that he's going to do a full breakdown when he makes a video. Shouldn't take too long. We'll take a look at that when we, or rather when Idubbbz decides to release that. I suppose in another sort of like update. But Stephen Asark, who has been doing a very, very good job looking into this whole Idubbbz Ethan Klein case right now, has again done the most bare of bare minimum that is expected of these YouTube lawyers, and that is to get the transcript, see what's exactly being said by the lawyers, because this is all, of course, stuff on public record. You got the fucking transcript and decided to read it in this video. Why don't we take a look?
Lawsuit or nah? Well, I will say this. I will be making a video talking more about it because obviously there's a lot to talk about, and I don't want to breadcrumb it.
Hello, and welcome to Stephen A. Search Talk. Sorry, this is Stephen Mindset. Think of this part of my channel as like Voidzilla, a space where I can just kind of talk about lawsuits without a lot of editing and, you know, extreme motion graphics. This is just a place where I can kind of just talk, because there's a lot happening in the digital culture legal space. Like right now, Destiny's affidavit just got leaked, and Mr. Beast is being sued by...
Yeah, just to say real quick, we'll probably also take a look at the affidavit and stuff that leaked from Destiny in terms of the court transcript that he just recently had. It's not looking good for Mr. Bonelli. Tactically, shall we say, Mr. Bonoblo decided to not understand what the what consent meant constantly during that fucking deposition.
a former Beast Games contestant who claims that she was forced to delete her OnlyFans in order to compete in the Amazon game show. But today, what I want to talk about is the Ethan Klein versus Idubbbz lawsuit. Now, a couple weeks ago, I released my first video in this sort of vein and talked about the documents that I had obtained going through the lawsuit and kind of what's going on.
YouTuber Steven Asark, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that.
Coming from Stephen Asarch this time. Some of the last ones came from Stephen Asarch, actually.
In this video, Stephen Asarch is very pleased with himself.
And the
Oh, that guy's a fucking stupid, like, loner box simp. Very, very low IQ individual, like, girly pop, fucking 3 IQ troglodyte. I have no respect for that fucking Barbie head looking ass.
The response was overwhelming. It's really interesting when a bunch of different creators all over the digital space just kind of like talk about you and
it was a great video, by the way, the initial video by Stephen Asarch when he yapped about the details of the lawsuit that basically Ethan was going with specifically against Idubbbz. And essentially, like, what what Ethan basically wants is just, like, completely and utterly nonsensical. Like I said before, the only thing, because quote-unquote, Ethan was trying to, like, frame this as, like, it's such a minor thing, it's, like, whatever. I don't know why everyone's, like, making a big stink about it. Again, the biggest problem right now and contention that people are having right now with Ethan is the fact that, again, he said after Idubbbz's basically like third fucking goddamn apology, he said that he would instruct his attorneys to drop the fucking lawsuit. And then we learned that he's actually looking to get a settlement, aka a statement from Idubbbz saying that he condemns snark communities. Idubbbz is refusing to condemn snark communities. So in reality, Ethan basically fucking lied in saying that the lawsuit is over. Yeah, because guess what? You're not going to get a fucking condemnation of snark communities because of your fucking, like, paranoid schizophrenia that you have about this, Ethan. Because, again, the whole narrative with the fucking snark and the CPS and all of this is all just a inner concoction of Ethan Klein's paranoid fucking mind. Like, I'm just going to keep reiterating this point over and over and over again. Everything with snark, everything with CPS, everything with the skulls. We have no idea who perpetrated any of these actions. We do not know who did any of this nonsense in particular in terms of, like, sending the skulls to Ethan, calling CPS to have his fucking kids taken away, blah, 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 blah. Ethan has, again, still failed to provide any fucking evidence for any of his fucking conspiracies. And also in terms of the lawsuit against the Snarkers and also Casey Tron, Frogan, and Denims. Real quick update, of course, on the Frogan lawsuit. She now has retained, like, real quick, of course, Kilotonics has been also doing a very, very good job in terms of outlining the whole sort of minutia about that whole sort of case. But basically, Frogan is looking to now challenge the default judgment and is looking to fucking appeal that, and she has retained Denim's legal team, who was, of course, successful in terms of defeating the defamation suit against, well, Ethan Klein. So, that's going on at the moment. So, maybe, given Denims' legal counsel, maybe it'll be also a W for Frogan. But from what I understand, Frogan is in a pretty solid position, and she may actually win her suit specifically against Ethan. So, you know, that's going to be a what? 1 for 4, right? Because all the dumbasses were saying, like, oh, actually, it was like 2 for 2 when Frogan went to default judgments. Like, it's not how that works. They didn't settle anything, but whatever. Law tubers and, like, drama slop commentary YouTubers having no idea what they're talking about when it comes to this. That shocker, I know. But in terms of, like, the quick summary of course, Stephen Asarch's video, when he covered the transcript, or the charges, basically what Ethan wants out of Idubbbz in terms of the lawsuit, it was just, like, complete nonsense and something that, in reality, couldn't be really proved at all by Ethan. Essentially, what he was, like, trying to get was, I think it was, like, about $1 million, and he was trying to get, like, again, Ian to basically have a denouncing of snark communities, which again is it's just not gonna fucking happen. Also, he's not gonna get the fucking $1 million he wanted. I think that's already been like dismissed out of the case. So as far as I'm concerned, like Ethan is probably just not gonna get anything out of this, and it's more than likely gonna be fucking dismissed if I were to take a guess. Because again, there's just no basis for any of the fucking claims here by Ethan.
Look into your stuff, but I saw a few pieces of like misinfo off of that video that got shared around, and I wanted to talk about just one that really caught my eye, which was that Ethan Klein could not have dropped the lawsuit because he needed to have that settlement first. Ethan writes in the comments of the apology saying that, okay, I'm going to drop the case.
But it turns out he can't just drop the case. There has to be some sort of agreement.
And that isn't really true.
That's not true, by the way. Yeah. Whoa, a dumb fuck Barbie doll, and I think that was less not knowing how law works. Whoa, crazy. No, if you say that you are going to drop a lawsuit, and you can instruct your attorneys to just drop a fucking lawsuit, they can just drop a lawsuit without getting any settlement or whatsoever. Like, it's just not... This is not any of this works. But then again, like, we're expecting, you know, Ethan Klein fans to know what they're talking about. Okay, dude. Nice meme.
Ethan Klein could have dropped the lawsuit at any time. If you look at the Alberta Rules of Court, after the discontinuance of claim, before a date is set for trial, a plaintiff may discontinue all or any part of an action against one or more defendants. So he could have at any time dropped it.
Yep.
But if he did, he would have had to pay Ian's legal fees. Because as you can see in point 4, a discontinuance under this rule must be in Form 23 and must be filed and served on each of the other parties, and after the plaintiff serves notice of discontinuance, the defendant is entitled to a cost award against the plaintiff for having defended.
Very, very interesting here, because we know that Ethan has been constantly now losing a bunch of his lawsuits and is being forced to have to pay out a bunch of people's legal fees because he's been losing a bunch of his suits because of them. Well, either... Okay. I can only speculate for as to why potentially he may be like dropping a bunch of his lawsuits, and some of my speculations is because he had a podcast where he was flexing the fact that he just built a $600K new studio, so he may be a little strapped for cash at the moment, especially considering the fact that his popularity continues to dwindle by the day. He continues to lose subscribers, and everyone just continues to not like Ethan and any of his actions. Very, very commonplace, of course. And there's also the fact that with Ethan, that the Moist Critical video that came out against him, which of course was not perfect. I criticized some of like Charlie's takes in there. But overall came to the correct conclusion of saying that, oh yeah, guys, Ethan's being like a little bit of a fucking freak when it comes to like his litigious actions against these like smaller content creators. So personally, I think that Ethan probably should just chill the fuck out and drop these lawsuits. He got a bunch of smoke from a bunch of normies, and as a result, he decided to start dropping a bunch of his lawsuits. Yeah. So there's that as well. So between the sort of pressure from like normies of being called the Nintendo of YouTube, which is never a good look, and also the fact that he probably spent a bunch of money on his new fucking studio, these are probably, if I were to take a guess, the main contributing factors for us to why Ethan is, shall we say, halting with a lot of his recent legal actions.
Defended against the discontinued claim. Now, do you think it's fair that Ethan...
Also, he probably does not want to spend a bunch of money on people's attorney's fees. That as well.
Have to pay for Ian's lawyers if he drops the lawsuits? That's entirely up to you. But this idea that Ethan couldn't have dropped it at all unless he got this settlement with all of these 20 plus different facets that needed to be filed through is just like complete hogwash, and definitely got spread by a few conspiratorial Barbies online. But, you know, what I want to talk about today is the August 18th court hearing, I guess, that kind of talks about what goes on. But first, I think we kind of need to go a recap of this lawsuit and kind of how we got here. On February 17th, Ian, as a dragon, posted Destiny's claims, claiming Ethan was, you know, touching his kids and being inappropriate. Gross statement, not a fan, but he did it and he put it up. And before any of this happened, on May 9th, Ian issued
Again, I've said this before, but I don't really give much of a flying fuck about like someone putting up a statement that someone else said. It's because again, it's like someone else literally said it. Like, because here's the thing, unironically, Ian himself during that stream said that, yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is just like complete nonsense, but like, no, it seems like it's something that needs to be addressed. You know, you can sort of like make the claim and say that, yeah, him, or rather Ian saying that, oh, this is a claim that needs to be addressed or something is like the biggest problem there. But then honestly, at that point in time, I'm just like, okay, bro, then we could just make this exact same standard for so many of the things that Ethan says on his like dumbass fucking podcast. Like, is that really the standard that we want to go by here? That seems ridiculous.
his first apology on stream. The apology, you know, it was just him kind of distancing himself. He says was retiring the character, but he kind of moved on. But on June 5th, 2026, that's when Ethan Klein filed the lawsuit against Idubbbz for this statement. He also sued Anissa for a separate statement that we'll get into later on. But that's when things really started to go.
So yeah, that's specifically what's like going on in here in particular. For whatever reason, Anissa is also getting sued for something separate. Because Anissa has been posting a bunch of posts on Instagram talking about the fucking court date that she just went in. And basically, because it's both of them that are getting sued now by Ethan because of statements that they've had where he's just claiming that they're fucking defaming him, which is fucking, it's just really stupid, man.
And June 15th, Ian decided he was going to release his own apology video. And if you look on his channel, that apology is actually one of the most successful videos, might even be the most successful video he's had in quite a long time outside of the H3 content, Cop Nuke. So, you know, he just did that of his own. But after June 15th, Ian's and Ethan's lawyers start talking behind the scenes to discuss a settlement, because under that second apology video, Ethan wrote that he is, you know, going to drop the suit, that he's ready for the apology was good, and he was going to drop the suit.
Which is, again, a lie. Yeah, a lie, by the way. I'm just going to say that. Again, if you're saying that you're going to drop the lawsuit, right, then why the fuck are you going for a settled negotiation? Like, for a settlement? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me, right? Like, you do not need to fucking get a settlement when you're saying that you're dropping the suit. It's a bunch of fucking hooey, it's hogwash, it's fucking stupid.
But behind the scenes, he really wasn't planning on just dropping the suit. He wanted a settlement. So they were kind of discussing these settlement terms. And, you know, there's... I went into it...
by the way, I don't think, like, Ethan, or not Ethan, rather, Ian should have ever capitulated to in the beginning. Like, why the fuck are you going for a... Like, I guess you're too afraid because you don't have a lot of money in order to be able to fight the lawsuit. Well, in that case, like, okay, like, fair enough, I guess. But, like, dog... Like, when it comes to, like, someone who's, like, as much of a freak litigious weirdo as, like, Ethan Klein, at some point in time, it's just, like, you really have no other option but to fight, right? You know what I mean? It's, like, the same thing with, like, fascists, right? Like, the only way to be able to stop the actions of a fascist is by, unfortunately, fighting them, because it doesn't matter in terms of, like, how you negotiate with them. It doesn't matter, like, trying to find common ground for them. They do not give a shit if the fascist wants to see you eliminated. They will do everything possible to try to see you get eliminated. That's the fucking problem here. And, you know, people have been memeing saying that this is quote-unquote the Israeli ceasefire method. And it's just like, well, I mean... Israel, technically speaking, has done the exact same sort of actions in terms of the ceasefire within Gaza. So is it, like, ridiculous to say that this is the Israeli ceasefire method, quote unquote? Not really, because, again, Ethan is making it rather clear that he just wants to be, like, a litigious little weirdo fucking freak, where he literally said, again, in a comment on Idubbbz' video, that it was going to be dropped entirely. The lawsuit was going to be dropped entirely. Now there's some settlement negotiations. Nah, that's a bunch of fucking hooey. It's bullshit. Like, I am uninterested in, like, listening to Ethan Klein's, like, inane prattle when it comes to this.
In the last video, so I'm not going to recap it here. But I do want to talk about Ian's third apology and kind of how important it was. Because this apology on July 2nd has basically been wiped from the internet. No one really has it. It's only in this affidavit. So I decided I kind of just want to read it here, and just because it's going to be really important to understand how the August 18th hearing went.
Another apology.
So, what Ian said on the July 2nd stream was, for the H3 podcast, I was definitely getting sucked into the cycle. Sort of the bad parts, the ugly parts of online discourse. And I really don't want to be part of that. I feel bad that I was engaging in that. It's easy to get roped into it, and I don't want to be that person. I think it's worth acknowledging. There's been commentary around Noah Samson, Frogan, all these people who are also dealing with lawsuits, and they're all in very different situations. I certainly don't want people to see my apology and see any of this as a reflection of how other people need to behave, because this is my world, and this is what I wanted to do for myself. I very much want to get back into making content that is more reflective of who I want to be, what drives me, what motivates me, and I think getting lost in the online back and forth, getting involved in these communities, because it's such a slippery slope, especially for me. It's hard, right? Because you get so emotionally invested in things. You just want to be heard. You just want there to be resolution. That's what I want a lot of the time. And in the pursuit for the resolution, you can say and do some ugly stuff. You can be involved in things that are just very ugly. I want to distance myself from that sort of stuff. Anything that involves people's personal lives, because Anissa and I have both been a big target of it, whether it be Kiwi Farms or anything else. There's been a lot of stuff that I have not liked. It's very personal, really gross. It's hard to not want to react back in a lot of these instances, but I think it's important to not and get back into my own lane, for lack of a better word. So I think I'm going to try harder to just make good content and not get pulled down into this drama slump, because I still think it's important to defend the defenseless and stick up for people, and fair, good criticism is important. And I do think holding people accountable is important, but I don't want to get sloppy with it, you know?
By the way, real quick, that was the original purpose of Content Cops, was to try to, you know, quote unquote, hold people accountable. Now, obviously, we can all quibble about, like, oh, was what Idubbbz was doing through his Content Cops a really ineffective method of holding people to account? You can make the argument that, like, kind of like yes and no. I would just say, like, kind of sort of, right? Like, Idubbbz did in a rather, like, inelegant, crass, and crude method, and made it such that it was not going to be really receptive to the quote-unquote targets that he was looking after. And unfortunately, it made it such that a lot of, like, extremely low IQ motherfuckers, like all the 4chaners, the far right, and all these people, glammed onto Idubbbz as quote-unquote one of their guys, because he liked saying the N-word a bunch. Shocker, I know. Also the F slur as well. Yeah, I know. Shocker. Well, expecting, like, I don't know, like, a poignant anything from the right. Whoa, crazy. That never happens, obviously. So, as a byproduct, as a result of that, a lot of, like, right-wing people started glamming onto Idubbbz, saying, like, this is one of our guys, we like this guy, blah, 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 blah. When in reality, Idubbbz never really fucked with any of those people. Like, at all. So, as a sort of... I was going to say byproduct again. As a result of that, it made it such that Idubbbz kind of got, like, the troll's remorse, like, whiplash, and he made the recognition, like, oh, fuck, dude. Oh, God. Because he's told the story about how he met one of his fans, IRL, and how much of a fucking, like, weirdo loser that they were. Because the dude just, like, walked up to him and said N-word F slur, and it's just like, oh, fuck. Oh, God, I've made a bunch of, like unsociable little fucking freaks with my old content, and he got a bunch of trolls remorse as a byproduct of that. And as a result, he did the whole, like, rough separation, let's just say for lack of a better term, from his former audience that all the right-wingers got triggered about, because they did not understand what the purpose of Content Cops were. They only liked Content Cop, again, not because of the criticisms that Ian had, but they just liked it because of the fact that he said a bunch of slurs.
That apology comes out July 2nd on his stream. It was what they were discussing. And before that apology happened, there were conversations between Ethan Klein's lawyer and Ian's lawyers, as I said. And this is what Ethan Klein's lawyer said. It's in the affidavit before it. Consistent with your instructions that Ian Joma must denounce the smart community or express regret for participating in it, but the wording and format are at his discretion. Ian has agreed to make a statement on his Thursday, July 2nd livestream along the lines of, participating in snark communities for bad faith to harass or by picking on people's families is bad, and state in a manner that is clear, that is including himself, i.e. that his participation is included in the statement and was bad. Now, does the above...
Okay, so... Wait, consistent with your instructions that Ian Joma must announce the snark community or express regret for participating in it, which again is fucking stupid because there's just zero evidence to suggest that, not Ian, but Ethan, but Ian participated at all with any of the snark communities. He never posted an H3 snark or in any snark community, unlike Ethan, who frequented snark communities all the fucking goddamn time. But the wording and format are at his discretion. Ian has agreed to make a statement on his July 2nd live stream along the lines of participating in Snark. Okay. So, Ian agreed to make a statement on his live stream. What? Fucking denouncing Snark? Please confirm agreement. Assuming you agree, we should finalize and execute the settlement agreement before Thursday. Wait, no, okay. That's what Ethan wants. Whoa, okay, the wording here is like a little weird here, right? Okay, because I know a bunch of people were saying that, oh, Ian agreed to the settlement agreement. Technically speaking, no, he didn't. This is the stipulation at the top of the phrase right there, saying like, oh, this is what Ian or Ethan wants specifically from Ian to essentially denounce Snark. And then I assume his lawyers got this, consulted with him saying like, this is what they want out of the settlement. And he was just like, no, actually fuck that. I'm not agreeing to that because it's like ridiculous and stupid. Because in reality, the only reason why Ethan is doing this, to be honest, is just because he wants to try to humiliate a bunch of people.
Statement. Include enough about participating in Snark communities. That is what this court hearing was about, is to figure out if the agreement, that again was in the last video, holds up and stands in court. Because did it, talk about the Snark communities? That's what the lawyers discussed, went back and forth on to kind of figure all of that out. Because what we learned from the court is that court denied the application for enforced settlement. So that agreement that, I posted that's been going around online, the court denied it, saying that it doesn't hold water. According to Ian's lawyers, he said that his apology, that
get owned, I guess, Ethan.
July 2nd one I just read, actually fulfilled the agreement. But Ethan's lawyers, they
Interesting. Wait, but he did. Wait, seriously? Really? Ethan's lawyers disagreed that the fucking the apology was fulfilled, even though he apologized like 2 different times before? Bro, like, unironically, I would assume that they probably pulled out this comment. Like, bro, your fucking client himself said that he appreciates the thoughtful apology. It means a lot. I've instructed my attorneys to drop the lawsuit entirely. So then you have to think to yourself, like, why the fuck are these motherfuckers pushing for a settlement then? Like, hello? Either this is like the lawyers doing some fuck shit, or it's Ethan doing some fuck shit. Because like there's an inconsistency here, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, dude. Nice meme.
Disagreed, saying that Ian did not denounce Snark. He did not denounce the Snark communities. He didn't say the word Snark.
But he never... Okay, but he never agreed to denounce the Snark communities. Ooh, that's very, very fucking Weasley. So, again, basically, there was no settled negotiation. There was, like, no statement specifically from... that was, like, talking about the denunciations of Snark communities. Because here's the thing. Ethan actually talked about in his podcast what some of that he would drop a bunch of his lawsuits if there was apologies that were issued by the parties that were being sued by Ethan. It's very, very Weasley and dishonest by that motherfucker. Just real quick. Very, very dishonest here. So basically, Ethan said in multiple appearances on his fucking podcast saying that if these people just said sorry, I would drop the lawsuit like no problem. And I felt like it was heartfelt. But it turns out there were some asterisks on what basically Ethan wanted that he never specified. He never stipulated at any point in time. He wanted all those guys to, quote unquote, within those apologies, say that they denounce Snark. And as a byproduct of Ian's apology, not denouncing Snark, he decided to fucking renege on his statement there, that comment there, on the Idubbbz video, and basically was just like, actually, you did apologize, but it's actually not the apology that I precisely exactly wanted, even though I never said what I exactly wanted out of my apology. Ooh, that is extremely fucking Weasley there by Ethan.
And because there was no specific language in the agreement, it was just sort of up to the discretion, as the lawyer in all of this said.
Yep.
See, it's up to the discretion. But the wording and format are at his discretion. So it's actually entirely up to Ethan if he's going to take this thing at all, if it's going to count. And Ethan.
Yeah, he didn't do that because, again, here's the thing. At this point in time, I think we can all operate under the assumption that I don't think, even if Idubbbz did the apology exactly to Ethan's sort of liking, can we really, okay, let's be honest here. Would Ethan even fucking have accepted it? Honestly, I don't think he would have. I have no reason to assume that he would have whatsoever.
Disagreed. So the judge felt that the agreement was subjective, so it wasn't fulfilled. So it just had to keep going. So I filed in the courts again to get more information, more documents. But nothing had been actually added to the docket. The only thing, as you can see, that's different than the previous one is that on the 18th of August, it says that the case was heard, or that the hearing was heard, and that the black spots are the judge's name and the action numbers. But that's really all that we got in terms of new information. There's nothing been filed yet, at least that I've been able to access. But
interesting. So literally nothing's been quite filed yet in terms of any new motions. Okay, interesting.
We do know what happened because Anissa, on one hand, has been talking about it in her Instagram stories, which we'll get to in a bit. But there was someone who was at the courthouse who was taking notes. Now, I saw this Reddit post and was...
Yes, this is also the same thing that was indicated here by the post here by Kiwi Farms.
Of course, skeptical. You never trust something you just see online as, the end-all be-all. But I do find it interesting what they said. They got the judge's name right, which I had not posted online. So I decided to reach out to them and, ask for a bit more confirmation. I did my due diligence. They were like, "Are you a journalist?" I'm like, "Yes." It happens from time to time. But they gave me the case number, which again, I hadn't posted online. They had the judge in there. And the notes seemed to line up with what Anissa was posting afterwards. So though this statement shouldn't be taken as 100% fact, I think it's interesting enough to kind of look at here. And as long as you're mildly skeptical, I think the justification behind it is good enough. So
okay, let's just see real quick. Was already downtown Calgary and decided to pop into the gallery yesterday. Wanted to share since I know not everyone could make it out. These are my own full notes on an official transcript, some details maybe slightly off, and I'm happy to be corrected if anyone else caught it live. I can't believe that Ian and Anissa traveled 3 hours for this. I saw them in the courtroom, and they were near the back. Jennifer Blanchard from Wilson Laycraft appeared for Ian and Anissa, and Lucy Linharandel, whatever. From Norton Rose appeared for Ethan, and the judge was the presiding in King's Bench Chambers. The judge denied the application to enforce settlement. Rough summary of the reasoning: the court found the real doubt as to whether a settlement was actually concluded. Technically speaking, not really. Courts can fill in gaps in a contract, and a settlement is a contract on an objective basis, but only where the parties intended an objective standard to apply. I would probably argue for Ethan, probably not, because again, the main issue with what Ethan was doing was the fact that he was being very, very non-specific in terms of what he wanted in an apology. Very, very non-committal, very, very non-specific. Kind of on purpose, because he just wanted probably an excuse to fucking sue Ian and Anissa. That's my assumption. But only where the parties intended objective outcome standard to apply. Here, the parties didn't set an objective standard. The standard was whether Ian's statement was subjectively satisfactory to Ethan, which Ethan claimed that it was not, even though he never said what he wanted in terms of a statement. So there's that. Which means basically, Ethan can just, I don't know, have, a metaphorical hostage situation and just get, whatever the fuck he wants. Very, very cool. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Ethan, for this, stupid fuck shit that you basically have, I don't know, put out in the world. Because of that, the court can step in and rule the apology is good enough, since that would mean substituting to its own judgment for a subjective standard that belongs to just Ethan. Scummy, obviously, by Ethan. The judge noted the extensive back and forth between counsel suggested the parties contemplated a more formal, finalized agreement, and not something resolved informally. Who wants to make a bet that it's, again, Ethan is just doing this because he wants to get, like, some form of, like, embarrassing statement from his quote-unquote detractors. Judge noted the extensive back and forth. Nothing stopped Ian from getting pre-approval on the statement before posting it. But that didn't happen. And the court won't retroactively deem it sufficient after the fact. The judge was really cool, and he gave a great contracts law lesson. He also expressed hope the parties could still settle on their own, but decided to impose it. I think we're going to see a more full apology soon, Lamau. Honestly, this is so fucking stupid, man. Like, I'm gonna be so, like, honest and for real. This still makes, honestly, I still think this makes, like, Ethan look probably about as bad as possible, right? Because, again, Ethan never stipulated at any point in time what he wanted out of an apology from Ian. At no point in time was it ever stipulated what he was looking for. So as far as I'm concerned, like, sort of like trying to get like some form of a settled negotiation with Ethan is like trying to negotiate with a fucking goddamn terrorist. Don't fucking do it. Don't bother, because it's extremely clear that this motherfucker, Ethan here, is just not interested at all whatsoever in any form of statement. He just wants to basically either, I don't know, cause more misery with all his, like, stupid, dumbass lawsuits, or just wants to, like, secure some form of embarrassing statement from someone in order to just, like, claim that he got, like, some, like, weird fucking victory. Like, it's something like that. It's something vis-a-vis, like, Casey Tron, if I were to take a guess.
What they wrote is that the judge denied the application to enforce settlement. The court found real doubt as to whether a settlement was actually concluded. Courts can fill gaps in a contract on an objective basis, but only where the parties intended an objective standard to apply. Here, the parties didn't set an objective standard. The standard was whether Ian's statement was subjectively satisfactory to Ian. The statement needed to be satisfactory to one person, and that was Mr. Klein. And that's really where Ian and Anissa screwed up on this one, in my opinion. They were not specific enough in the language when it came to the settlement. They needed to have basically a script in order to make it so.
I can agree with this, I think, yeah, in terms of the... Well, because the thing is, I think, like, that the fucking settlement was just, like, stupid from the beginning. Like, basically, they just, like, fucked up for no reason. They really screwed the pooch here. Because, again, like, here's the thing. I do think that the initial apology was fine. Ethan himself said that it was fine. And then they had some statements later, online, where they basically just, like, completely screwed up for no fucking reason. Again, like, in a metaphorical sense here, Ethan was completely and utterly dead to rights. And then there was like a live stream where where Ian was trying to basically explain what the fuck was going on. He really fucked up the explanation, basically, and it made it such that, oh, now the the fucking suit can just like basically continue, I guess, for like lack of a better term, and for Ethan to basically try to get some form of a settled negotiation. Like, Ian really fucking screwed the pooch on that one.
Oh, that, like, Ethan could not, say that this didn't count. Like, if you look at the Casey Tron, apology, settlement video, the reason it sounds so rehearsed, in my opinion, I have no evidence behind this is just something I'm theorizing, is that because it had to be written verbatim to make sure everything was okay and that the settlement would count.
The lawsuit was not frivolous.
Probably.
When I said the lawsuit was frivolous and based on misogyny, it was to garner sympathy, protect my own reputation.
Yeah, remember when Ethan said on his podcast that this is a very sincere apology? Very, very sincere? Yeah, sure, buddy.
And retaliate against the Kleins.
It can't be subjective. You really need to have everything in writing when it comes to this sort of stuff. And, it just kind of went from there. So I contacted this person, and they said that they were going to share their notes with me. And I was like, oh yeah, that's great. I would love to see them. And then they posted them to the subreddit. So I guess the internet can sort of thank me for getting this stuff out. But there were some things in the notes that I wanted to get to, because I think they speak.
Again, I will still say that my position on this is that, again, like, The fact that fucking Ethan said that, yeah, I think this is a thoughtful apology, I will ask my fucking attorneys to, like, completely drop this, is fucking bullshit. When, again, like, unironically, this motherfucker, Ethan Klein, never stipulated what exactly he was looking for. He never stipulated that, by the way, but whatever, dude. It's all just a fucking meme at this point.
Directly to that, again, July 2nd statement, which is kind of the whole point of all of this. You know, Ian's lawyers were very specific and said that these are the reasons that the apology counted and that the settlement should stand and that the agreement should stand. It talks about the bad and ugly parts of online discourse. Ian's lawyers also said that this was the most challenge she has faced in trying to reach a settlement with the party. Again, I would not directly quote it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she said. But again, does the bad parts and ugly parts of online discourse count to denouncing snark? If you're describing snark specifically as snark communities, no. At least that's subjectively how they feel about it. And then we have,
I think what basically Ethan wanted was to just have a, so basically he's just having a problem with like just some slight wording, just like some slight wording, and that's it. Saying that, yeah, because technically speaking, what Ian is saying here is exactly accurate. Because here's the thing, like there are ugly parts of online discourse. Online discourse can certainly get ugly. That's just a fact, right? But I think if I were to make a bet, what Ethan wanted was for a specific mention of snark, right? But again, if we're talking about online discourse as like a sort of like subjective platonic ideal, what Idubbbz is talking about is accurate. It is truthful. It's just for whatever annoying reason, Ethan was just like, nah, you're supposed to just specifically mention snark. And it's like, well, it's not exactly the fucking same thing if we're talking about like general online discourse. But then again, we're talking about Ethan here, and he is very dishonest.
Bad I was engaging in it, which is the statement Blanchard says meets that requirement from the agreement that expressed Ian needed to include his own participation as something that was negative. You think getting lost in the online back and forth, this is part of the apology in reference to the snark communities. Again, is that count as snark? Snark, again, by Ethan Klein's definition and those of his community, in my opinion, because there's never really actually been a direct definition of snark. It's been.
This is a very good point here by Stephen A. Sark. Again, like, well, it's basically completely useless to try to get a definition of what snark is from Ethan because it's been incredibly fucking nebulous and just means anything. So I don't know. Is it one of those things where Ethan was basically trying to purposefully make it such that anyone who's trying to quote-unquote denounce snark, he basically has like an impossible standard set up in order so he can have more lawsuits on people? I'm inclined to think at this point in time, yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Because again, what does Ethan Klein mean exactly by snark? Well, he won't actually say it directly because he quote-unquote believes in free speech, quote-unquote, of course. It's people who are criticizing him specifically. That's what Ethan is the most upset about. He just doesn't want people criticizing him anymore. That's it.
Very nebulous about what it is, but like snark is something that is very specific to them. That is a community of Redditors who shit talk them and do other things. It could potentially be linked to the CPS call that they received or the skulls they received at their houses. All of this is, you know, what snark kind of is. Right. And Ian, in that statement, does not say that snark is bad. He does not mention the word snark. He implies to what the traditional definition of the term snark could be, in that it's like people shit-talking each other, but he doesn't actually say snark. And because he doesn't condemn those specific snark communities, that's what these lawyers are kind of arguing, that the agreement doesn't hold up, and none of it really matters in all of this.
Fuck, again, this is extremely fucking Weasley here by Ethan. Very, very fucking Weasley. Because again, what is the point of quote-unquote getting a condemnation of fucking snark communities? I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't really give a fuck. There is nothing inherently wrong with a fucking snark community. It just depends on how it is moderated and how it is looked at. Again, there are problems with snark communities if they are not properly moderated and they do not have the rules of engagement sort of stipulated, right? I would agree with Ethan there. Absolutely. That's not the case for the Ethan Klein snark. Period. End of story. It's just not. It is not. So as far as I'm concerned, This is just some random schizophrenic conniption here, specifically by Ethan.
And when you look at Ethan's lawyers, they were like, he was required to say these things. He was required to use the specific term snark community. It was in the affidavit, and it was in the talks. He needed to use the term snark community. And the fact that he didn't is enough to kind of like break the thing. It doesn't count. The agreement doesn't count because he doesn't say snark community. And the judge...
even though, again, this motherfucker never... He never fucking... He accepted it anyways, even though in that fucking video, he never mentioned the term snark, and he still said that he appreciates the apology, and that he appreciates the apology, and he's instructing his attorneys to drop the lawsuit. Again, he unironically said that he was okay with this, and then all of a sudden, oh, actually, no. This was not a part of the settled negotiations or agreements. No, not at all. Like, what do we mean here? So the lawsuit's back on. Very, very fucking weaselly here.
Actually kind of agreed. Well, let's go back to this. So the fact, like, I thought this part was kind of funny. The only sticking point on my end is Ian's refusal to denounce the identified Reddit star community. His lawyer said that was a deal breaker for Ian. The settlement is conditional on Ian stating that he regrets participating in a snark community, genuinely with no reference to the named community. A snark community with reference, it targeted Ethan Klein or H3 Stark. People gasping behind me. Ethan is not willing to move unless there is at least a reference to option A. Now, again, he didn't mention the snark community. This, like Ethan said, it was kind of being held up by one tiny little sticking point.
Listen, it's a bunch of technical bullshit. It's just we're in negotiating the terms of the settlement still, and that's it. I don't know. It's what it is. You know what I mean?
And he's not really wrong here. Ian could have mentioned the snark community, but for some reason we do not know. He just decided not to. And that kind of led to all of this legal rigmarole. I still believe Ethan Klein should not have filed the lawsuit to begin with, and he could have settled without any of this stuff. But Ian not getting in direct writing what that settlement was supposed to be is why they are in this place. If they had just bent the knee and said the snark stuff, I don't think any of this would have been happening. It wouldn't have been a problem. But here we go. And now we have the judge.
Listen, I'm going to be... Okay, yeah, technically speaking, what Steven is saying there is true. But honestly, like... I'm gonna be so for real here, just to insert my own sort of fucking commentary into all of this. Dog, would Ethan have actually been in agreement with that? Would he have actually capitulated if there was a specific mention of quote unquote snark? Because again, like I said before, nothing inherently wrong with snark communities. Criticism is normal. It is standard for people on the fucking internet. This shit happens all the time. I anticipate that I'm probably going to get a bunch of extremely low IQ fucking Ethan Klein fans in the comments of this fucking goddamn video. I'm pretty much going to be fucking expecting that. But again, the biggest problem here is the fact that Ethan himself literally said that he is okay with this apology, that this apology is acceptable, and that he's okay with it, and that his lawyers were going to be instructed to drop the fucking lawsuit. Honestly, that is the biggest fucking problem that I have with all of this. It's like, bro, you literally said that you were gonna fucking drop this, and now you're deciding not to fucking drop it. Like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, this is some stupid fuck shit, bro. Like, seriously. It just makes it look like you're nothing more than just a gigantic, weaselly little fucking liar, dude. And that's the problem that people are specifically having here with Ian's sort of conduct in terms of this whole fucking fiasco. It's like, dog, unironically, like, he did exactly what you fucking wanted, and now all of a sudden it's just not good enough for you. So like, it's like, what the fuck do you want then? Like, it's incredible, dude.
According to what this Redditor said, the judge said, that this situation leaves me with some doubt in relation to whether the settlement was concluded or not. And since the court is required to fill on the objective basis, and that because this agreement was more of a subjective basis, there's no reason for them to basically uphold the agreement. If Ethan Klein doesn't say that the agreement is done, then the agreement is not done by the court's definition. They could have. Again, none of this needed to happen, but Ethan Klein is ultimately the one with the power here because Ian and Anissa just were not specific enough in their language. Say what you will about the case, that is objectively what's happening here. We also know what happened because
again,
Anissa,
like I said, I'm saying it's fucking stupid. It's just a ridiculous, dumb standard from an incredibly like neurotic, annoying freak in Ethan Klein.
for reasons I do not understand, decided to post about it on her IG story. I will say, a tip for anyone getting sued,
don't post about it on your fucking IG story. This is, generally speaking, not a good idea. But what, to clarify, yes, I'm also named in the defamation lawsuit that's seeking $1 million for both being sued by Ethan Klein, me specifically for tweeting drugs. So yeah, that's like the newest development in all of this. I think, if I recall correctly, Anissa basically said that Ethan is like acting like he's on drugs, and that's apparently like defamatory for some reason, even though he's like what she means there is that she's acting like a freak. It's meant to just be nothing more than a fucking criticism. That's it. People are rightfully confused on whether Ethan dropped the lawsuit or not. The short answer is no. The apology which Ian did truly from his own volition, without any instruction from Ethan's legal team, was not enough for Ethan to actually drop it. Even though, again, he said that he would drop it. So, again, Ethan being extremely scummy here. Very, very fucking scummy. That's all I'm choosing to say at this moment. Did he drop it? No. Did he say he would drop it publicly? Yes. Again, he did say it publicly that he would drop it. So as far as I'm concerned, this shit should be fucking dropped. But it's not for some reason. Interesting.
Don't make posts about it. Don't do it. The internet is not here to be your courtroom. The courtroom is there to be your courtroom. I understand you want people to kind of side with whatever you're thinking, but just shut up. At least that would be what I do, is I just shut up. But Anissa posted, to clarify, yes, I am also named in the defamation lawsuit that is seeking $1 million. We are both being sued by Ethan Klein, me specifically for tweeting drugs. Now, I wanna put a pin in the second one, but on the first one, the lawsuit is seeking $1 million. Now, I think that is partially my fault, why that's kind of a thing. The settlement itself, or the lawsuit, said that it was seeking up to $1 million. Like, they weren't seeking $1 million max. It was just like, that's kind of legalese for just doing it. So if that, came about because of my video, I apologize, but that's kind of how I've seen it. I've been speaking to lawyers behind the scenes to kind of get a better sense of this case, rather than, I am not a lawyer, I am a journalist. Let me make that perfectly clear. But I have been speaking to lawyers to kind of understand all of this stuff and get more of an understanding rather than keep talking. But I wanted to read the next one. People rightfully are confused on whether Ethan dropped the lawsuit or not. The short answer is no. The apology which Ian did truly of his own volition, without any instructions from Ethan's legal team, was not enough for Ethan to actually drop it. That's all I'm choosing to say at this moment. Did he drop it? No. Did he say he would drop it publicly? Yes. And that's true. That's true.
True.
He didn't drop it, and he said he would drop it. But it's that is what it is. I'm trying to be less opinionated in this one. Okay, just kind of let it go, because I don't want to. People on the internet are weird. That's what I've kind of learned. I want to go back to the last thing Anissa said, which is
I will never stop being opinionated. I could give less of a flying fuck. Fuck this motherfucker, Ethan, dude. Because again, bro, he literally accepted the apology, and then all of a sudden, nah, actually, I don't actually accept it, because Ian did not mention the term snark. It's like, okay, like, fuck off, bro. Like, seriously? Which, again, he never stipulated at any point in time during the whole this whole fucking fiasco that snark was supposed to be mentioned. Not at all. Unless that was something happening in the background with the fucking lawyers. But as far as I can tell, and as far as we know, that was never, ever, ever mentioned.
For tweeting drugs. Now, that is not actually what it says in the court filings. It says, on or about March 24th, Anissa published a statement suggesting Mr. Klein was on drugs on one of his videos, stating, bro is on something here. His pupils look as big as his iris. He's cooked. That was on a live stream, not in a tweet.
Bro is on something here.
Yeah.
For sure he's on drugs. Look at his eyes.
He does not normally look like that.
His pupils look like they're as big as his iris.
Yeah.
But Anissa, realizing that, saying wrong things in a lawsuit, even though she just said that was the last thing she was going to say, and one more story to the mix. More solid clarification. Sorry on my part. The specific wording in the suit is a quote from me commenting on the tweet I had made previously in passing in Ian's live stream. Here's the reason why I am included in the lawsuit. Yeah, it was the live stream, not the tweet. She did tweet drugs, which was tied to this, but again, that is not what it is mentioned in the lawsuit. At least from what
I feel like this is such a nothing burger. I'm gonna be
why
honest.
I don't have the transcript. Because you can actually get the transcript from the courthouse, and I wouldn't have to rely on a Redditor in order to do it. But unfortunately, it costs quite a lot. So I contacted the court after I got sent that, being like, how do I get the transcripts?
Oh, how much does it cost?
And they're like, first you have to pay another $25 to get the clerk's notes, which have the timestamps, to kind of figure that out. And then you have to file those timestamps to get a transcript. Now, I would want the transcript pretty fast. So it would cost about 8 cents a character. That means a letter. So if I wanted, every time they said the word snarks, it would cost me like $3 or so. And that's hundreds of dollars to get a transcript for a YouTube video that I...
Bro, what the fuck? Dude, that's some fucking cheese. Okay, that's... Canada, why you like this, bro? Why you like this, Canada, sometimes? Jesus Christ, bro.
don't like know how well is going to do. So I will say that if you want to see the transcript, I am willing to shell out to get it if I can kind of crowdfund it from the community. So if you're interested, think of throwing me a super chat or potentially joining my memberships, which I just launched recently and I'm super happy with. But
very cool.
I do want to kind of end with a little opinion, a little thought on this case. You know, as someone who is not a law tuber but pretending to not be one, I think Ian and Anissa really screwed up by not being specific in the language with their apology. I think they should have not let it be subjective. They should have had very specific language of what he could have said. I don't know if Ian wanted to do, I don't know if his like pivot to empathy made sure he can't read statements or what have you, but it definitely like made it seem that he could have just, again, read his and moved on with his life. But again, that's also bending the knee to Ethan. And I don't think that's what anybody really wants to do. Again, that's...
Yeah, it's a tough situation. I can definitely agree with that. But I don't think that you should be bending the knee to Ethan. I'm going to be honest here. Like, again, this motherfucker said literally publicly that he accepts the apology. So it's just like, okay, like what do you want then at this point in time? Like, he's only making, like, this is just a hole that specifically Ethan is only going to be digging here for himself more and more and more. And I think it's going to make him look even worse. Overall, like, I'm gonna be like quite for real here, because again, bro said that he was okay with it. He said that this was like, oh yep, I accept this, and I'm going to instruct my lawyers to drop the fucking suit. It's like, well, that should be that then. But for some reason, this motherfucker was just like, actually, no, this is not good enough. Fuck you, suck my dick. It's like, okay, well then, like, bro, what do you want then? Like, Ethan is basically trying to do like seemingly everything possible to make himself look as unreasonable as he can in this like whole fucking fiasco. Like, it just doesn't, it makes like no sense to me. Like, why would he do this?
My problem, in my opinion, is this feels so bullying. You know, it feels like Ian said something about Ethan's kids, so it's fair game. Like, the pettiness is totally allowed. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Even though it was again, this is a statement made by Destiny.
Because you went after his family. And like, I think there's a lot of pieces of the fandom that agree with that. That like, yeah, you shouldn't have said that about Ethan's kids. So now whatever happens to you is justified. Especially since there's like this massive lolcow culture around Idubbbz where people feel like betrayed by what he's turned into. So they can just kind of like feel like they can get away with a lot of this stuff. None of it really makes sense. Obviously. But I think at the end of the day, this lawsuit's just going to keep going. Like, this was going to be the ending for the moment, but since it didn't end, this is going to go to 2027. This is going to be a long, drawn-out thing to figure out the defamation claims. And, like, nobody wants a long, drawn-out defamation lawsuit. That's, like, scary stuff. That's hurtful and can, like, you know, completely steal all the money you have. But that's what's happening. And I'm not sure that is good for, like, the internet in general. I don't think these lawsuits are healthy for the internet. I just think this is kind of what we're dealing with. But you know what? Let me know how you feel about the lawsuit in the comments.
Fuck you, Ethan. Suck my dick and eat my shit. Yeah, that's really about it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what exactly happens in terms of this video. We'll see in terms of the video that Idubbbz is going to do in terms of the full breakdown. Because let's be honest here, can we say as a byproduct there was a fuck up within the initial apology within the video itself by Ian in terms of his apology, not specifically mentioning Snark, even though, let's be honest here, Ethan or his lawyers never fucking mentioned anything about Snark. Or maybe that was like part of like the backroom sort of like negotiations between the lawyers or whatever. Sure, maybe we can sort of operate under that assumption. But it doesn't matter because, again, he accepted the apology publicly. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't really matter what Ethan has to say in terms of all this. He already accepted the apology if we're talking about the quote-unquote subjective manner in terms of Ethan Klein, right? He already accepted it, said that the apology was good enough and that he was going to drop the suit. So as far as I'm concerned, Ethan is just completely in the fucking wrong here, because it's just like, bro, even though Idubbbz did not specifically mention the term snark, you still accepted the apology. So then why the fuck are you still, like, making a fuss and a muss and a bus about this? It doesn't make any sense. Because as far as I'm concerned, you know, insert meme here about the quote-unquote Israeli ceasefire method, where all of a sudden you can just change your terms and conditions for, like, what the ceasefire constitutes in order to be able to continue with your fucking goddamn actions. That's, like, the only operation that I can, like, basically assume in terms of Ethan Klein's behavior here, because again, you said that you accepted the apology, and now all of a sudden, oh, you don't accept it for some fucking reason. Like, okay, that's a little interesting and a little weird that you are operating under this sort of manner. And specifically, you said that you were totally okay with going ahead with this lawsuit because of specifically Alberta not having the protections, specifically that of anti-slap protections, that a bunch of other provinces within Canada have in particular. Like, bro said that the only reason why this lawsuit can really work is because of where they are living within Canada. Again, it's extremely weaselly behavior here still by Ethan Klein in terms of all this. So I mean, it's a good thing that we got like a more sort of like details in terms of the lawsuit. I'm still coming away to the conclusion of, yeah, Ethan is still a fucking rat fuck in terms of his behavior when it comes to this lawsuit here, in terms of this the whole settled negotiation bullshit that he's trying to push for, where he just wants Idubbbz to specifically mention the term snark in his goofy apology. It's like, wow, fuck you, Ethan. You are a lying sack of shit who is willing to just come up with like literally anything possible in order to just like continue with this like dumb fucking crusade in terms of all of this like idiotic fucking lawsuits of seemingly everyone within the space, which is certainly going to do a great job in continuing to ingratiate you with the audiences that you have lost through your freakish fucking behavior. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that. Fuck you, Ethan Klein. You are not my friend. You are a cocksucker. You can go fuck yourself. We do a little remix. Just a little bit of a remix. In this household, ladies, gentlemen, those in between, we hate Ethan Klein. Why? Because he's a fucking goddamn bastard. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I must say, doing this little chub shit over here, very much so a big pain in the ass. Very much so is a big old pain. I'm still shocked about how many subs and watchers he still has. Those are only just gonna, let's be honest here, AJ. That shit's just gonna keep like, it's gonna keep going down for sure, dude. Because he's just gonna keep being like a litigious little fucking weirdo. And nobody fucking likes that. Everyone's just gonna hate it and just be like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, fuck off. And like less and less people are gonna want to work with him because it's like, I don't know if this like dumbass freak is gonna like all of a sudden sue me like for one tiny bit of criticism that I have of him. It's like, okay, why risk it, you know? There's no point. 1, 2, 3. Look at these little chub conveyor lifts, AJ. Look at them. They're so funny looking. The little chubs. They're little chuds. They're fat little fucking chubs. And yes, for you, to answer the question real quick, no, this is not intended mechanics. That is definitely not intended, but it is possible because of a funny duddy in the game itself. Alright, so let's cable, high speed connector, unload. A funny little quirk in this game. And that's that. Lovely. Oh, so let's just like another thing real quick about like H3 fans, AJ. A lot of them are very stupid people. Like they're just genuinely like extremely dim-witted individuals, you know what I mean? Like the types of people where I sit there and I kind of wonder to myself, like, how the fuck do you how do you get up in the morning? How do you like live with yourself? You know? And I started to just ask some questions, like, bro, what is wrong with you people? Alright, so that's gonna be 3 more tractors. Three more tractors to add to the road. His show was getting too padded, and he was right to cut it down, but it did piss people off because of less content. Interesting. I mean, if it honestly, if him doing less content means, I don't know, him being like less of a fucking dumb fuck, I think that's probably like the preferable outcome. I'm gonna be so for real, dude. Because God, he is a dim-witted motherfucker. His stupid tirades where he would pretend to be a hillbilly or other character for 10 minutes was just fluff. Oh, like, honestly, like, there was a segment of H3H3 that I know that Sleepy went through specifically. Shout out Sleepy, of course. Where it was a video, it was about like 40 minutes or something, of quote-unquote him trying to criticize Asmongold. And you want to know what he spent most of the video talking about? Hassan and Alex Jones. And when he finally got around to talk about Asmongold, about like 25 minutes in, something like that, it was a while. He offered like the most tepid, pathetic fucking criticisms of Asmongold on the planet, and then he still started talking about Hassan again. It's just like, okay, bro. Like, nice meme. I think he had Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Thursday bonus shows before he cut down. Thursday including the sub show. Didn't he fucking outsource that now to Chud with a microphone and Zionist fucking dumbfuck? Remember, folks, never become a full-on fat fucking chud. Like girl with the microphone. Who is extremely fucking stupid, man. I hate her so much. Because it's just like, how can you be so dim-witted? And I'm just like, how misogynist do we want to be with this bit? And then I stop myself. Basically, yeah. But I stopped watching once it seemed like he was irredeemable. I feel like that's... because there's like a lot of Reddit threads, for example. Like post Sam Cedar. The Sam Cedar debate was really bad because he just being hysterical, and Sam Cedar was just like constantly fact checking him, saying like, just like, you know, one random example, saying that, oh, well, Hamas could have at any point in time ended the conflict, and Sam Cedar was just like, at what point in time could have Hamas ended the conflict? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, by returning the hostages. Oh, the hostages that Hamas said that they would return like next day of, in exchange for Israel to not invade the Gaza Strip? Oh, those hostages? It's like, okay, congratulations. Hamas said they would already fucking release them. Like, okay, bro. Like, nice meme. He would get me with some clickbait here and there to seem like he was changing, but I completely stopped. That's fair. I think, like, you're not a minority, by the way. I'll be honest, AJ. I think that's like the majority of a lot of complaints that people are now having with H3's general sort of fucking behavior. Everyone's just like constantly clamoring and talking about. It's like, man, I remember when it used to be, when the show used to be not this like dumbass fucking drama shit, and used to just be like a bunch of fun goofs and gaffs, and it was like silly. It was like good silly fun that Ethan was having. And it's not that anymore. It's just fucking cringe now. It's all either Hassan, Snark, or like whatever fucking grievance ass bullshit that Ethan is like talking about. And it's just like, that's kind of sad. But then again, like, I'm okay with like Ethan experiencing like forms of misery because of just how much of like a neurotic freak that he is. But you know, I guess that's not really an excuse for me to be like an asshole to a fan who wants like something to return to normalcy. So it's just like, okay, well, I mean, I get what you're coming from. I don't disagree with that. But like, fuck Ethan, bro. Like, God, he's so stupid, and he's like wrong about everything politically. Like, he did like Islamo-communism memes. It's like, bro, why are we doing like a Nick Fuentes bit or something? Like, what the fuck is this? I like the mix of both. That's fair. I used to watch the H3 podcast pretty often, and I eventually just stopped. Because it's like, yeah, I've grown beyond this. I don't really care anymore. No shit. What the fuck? Jesus. Okay, so you can be the circuit boards. Did I never integrate the circuit board load into the fucking network? I might not have. And the answer to the question of I might not have, it is actually I definitely did not have. So it is time to remedy that situation. He had stuff where it was bizarre bondage video where a lady was screaming that she was wrapped in a carpet or something and slowly being suspended by a machine into the floor of a house. The button covers up the hole. And in the end, he's like, the mastermind of the sex house died from the kennel cough a week ago. when they looked them up. Weird. That's a little weird. I'm gonna be honest. That's just a little weird. Yeah, it's just a little weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely weird. Excuse me. Like, just weird shit they would react to, and then they stop. Well, probably after Leftovers, right? Because that's where it all really went downhill, was the ending of Leftovers. Turns into a discussion about, like, what the fuck does dying from kennel cough mean? Okay. I mean, Ethan used to have, like, interesting guests and stuff like that, and then he just stopped. Probably mostly because of the fact that he just got, like, mad that he got owned by Bill Burr or something. I don't know. Who knows? The inner machinations of Ethan's mind are an enigma. Well, that's a little annoying. Ugh, fine. Alright, with high-speed connectors about to be finished. Next will be... circuit board load 1. Fuel depot 5. Go. Fix thine selves. He got mad that Brittany Broski stopped talking to him and rants about her sometimes, lol. I don't remember who the fuck is Brittany Broski? Who the fuck? Brittany Broski. The fuck is this? Oh, her! Oh, I know her. Yeah, she's a funny gal. She says those funny things sometimes. Listen, honestly, like, Ethan only has himself to blame for as to why he's persona non grata. Like, that's it. That's it's like, Ethan, bro, you're the one who keeps shooting himself in the metaphorical foot all the time with your dumbass behavior. It's a you problem, bro. It's like, okay, man, but whatever. Okay, more tractors. Next is going to be the tractor for cables. Boom, boom, cable. This is fuel depot 4. Alright, go on and get. And one more. That's going to be for quick wire. Okay, and then quick wire. Quick wire. Quick wire. Fuel Depot 3. Get. And just like that, that is done. Then I need to add another tractor for taking all the shitters to the other side. Something that might be intelligent for me to do is to make more fuel depots so I can alleviate more pressure. Cause yeah, we're having constant fucking traffic jams all the time. It's very annoying. The problem is that I have to go get extra, like, packaged turbo fuel loading and shit like that. It's a pain in the ass. But I would just go into the middle of the traffic jam mess and just reassign some of these motherfuckers to be like, hey, just like, you know, just go to this fuel depot instead. So that you're just not wasting a bunch of fucking time. In fact, I think I already have one perfect location for an extra fuel depot. Probably a couple, honestly. Because, yeah, this right here is just a big shit show. Yeah, I need to leave. I'm definitely going to need to alleviate pressure from the main fuel depot area, and it's time to intersperse a couple of fuel depots here and there. Hmm. Of course, hindsight's 2020. I guess with these shitters that has like some random empty posts, I could just put fuel depots. That could work, but because adding more fuel depots forehead's not gonna fucking help. Won't help the situation at all. Make it worse. Alright, first part is in. That's the cables. Organization, dimensional depot. I need more Mercer spheres. What the hell? I need more Mercer spheres because we're gonna start running out of extra dimensional space for the important things. Oof, I am starting to get tired. But we have more stuff we need to talk about. Fuck me. All right, let's get started. In the latest episode of Man, We Fucking Hate America, Hello Canada, of course, we have the latest results of the negotiations between the United States and Canada, talking about, hey, man, those trade negotiations, because of the president deciding to constantly violate his own trade agreement over and over and over again by implementing random tariffs on Canada for what exactly? Because he got mad at like an ad buy once, and also because he gets triggered by like random shit that Mark Carney says. Very, very many such times it is the case where the president just does like petty narcissistic bullshit because he's like a petty narcissistic fucking weirdo. And Mark Carney has now reached to the conclusion, finally, that there is no point in continuing to face or continue to negotiate with the United States of America. We are now going to respond to their tariffs tit for tat. Like, for fuck's sake, like, Trump implemented fucking tariffs on Canada for what reason exactly? Oh, because Mark Carney got a hug from a fucking goaltender during the World Cup, and not him. The Spanish goaltender, again, the guys who won the World Cup, and, the Spanish, who have a lot of good reasons to not be a big fan of Donald Trump in particular. It's just incredible to me, dude. But here, Mark Carney saying that starting September 8th, Canada would then impose tariffs on imports from the U.S. across a raft of sectors in retaliation to the 50% tariffs, which I wholeheartedly agree with, as much as I don't like tariffs. Unfortunately, the dumb fuck president just keeps trying to use them as a weapon in order to try to bully people into submission. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like, okay, have a taste of your own fucking goddamn medicine. I've never really been a proponent for an eye for an eye. It does make the whole world blind. But in this case, it's just like, dog, what the fuck else are we supposed to do?
We've consistently proposed long-term partnerships, while America has often pursued short-term transactions.
True.
The gap between partnership and competitor.
I don't know why Mark Carney's like surprised by this. Okay, I mean, he's doing the whole like politician optic speak here, obviously. That's always been Trump to a T. This is a guy who fundamentally does not believe in the concept of trust.
Unfortunately, has remained too wide in recent days. So last evening, I instructed our negotiators to return to Ottawa. Mm-hmm. We cannot accept what they've offered, and we will not give
We'll get into what
they've asked.
they were offering.
Canada will match Washington's new tariffs dollar for dollar in order to protect Canadian workers.
And again, just like for some of the reasons for as to why we're getting tariffed, it's some of the most petty narcissistic bullshit on the planet. Like, we're getting random 50% tariffs on oddly specific like Canadian products because of the fact that the Spanish goaltender snubbed Trump from getting a hug and hugged Mark Carney instead. There's also like some random bullshit about the 390% tariffs that we have on dairy products. Again, the reason why we have those tariffs in particular is not to punish U.S. markets, but it is to help incentivize the growth of our own domestic market. Again, those 390% tariffs are only applied on a particular quota of milk that gets hit. But does Trump understand that? No, he does not. Why? Because he's a fucking idiot. And also, what else? What are some of the other reasons why this motherfucker decided to also implement a bunch of tariffs? I think he also wanted to do like a bunch of tariffs on Canada for I think it was like the Liberation Day tariffs, which is where it all basically started. And also and I think this is an argument that David Dole says, and we'll get to the David Dole video. Maybe not like the entirety of it. Probably going to skip through most of the great breakdown. I'm definitely going to listen to what Jameson Greer has to say. But for the most part, the stuff that's coming from Mark Carney, we're probably not going to take a listen to any of that. But basically, in terms of like a lot of the reasonings for as to why the president is deciding to declare these tariffs, it's because of the fact that, he just wants to do it because he's like a petty narcissistic bitch and he feels like he can just get away with it. I mean, technically speaking, Congress is not stepping in to do their due diligence and basically say to the president, no, fuck off. Even though the Supreme Court said that he can't do any of this, but whatever, he's just going to keep doing it anyways. It's incredibly fucking stupid.
Farmers, families, and businesses. Our response will be concentrated in sectors such as steel, dairy, appliances, agricultural equipment, pulp and paper, and electronics. In the coming days, we'll release details of these new tariff measures which will come into force the Tuesday after Labor Day. Another prominent justification for U.S. tariffs has been their claim that since the United States runs, quote, a trade deficit with Canada, we were ripping them off. Also,
obviously stupid for God knows how many reasons. Just dumb. Again, part of the reason, and Mark Carney's going to bring it up specifically, a lot of the things that the U.S. were importing from Canada specifically was a lot of energy, energy fucking products. And the reason for as to why that was the case in particular is because of the fact that Trump tried to do some manipulation of OPEC. Tried to manipulate the oil markets back during his first term. It failed miserably, and it made the prices on oil go up. Made the interest rates also completely fucked as well in terms of that particular market. So as a byproduct of that, he was forced to essentially have to, import a lot more oil from who? From Canada.
So a quote. But the U.S.'s narrow merchandise trade deficit only exists because the U.S. buys so much of its energy from Canada. Canada fuels American growth, supplying 99% of their natural gas imports, 85% of their electricity imports, 60% of their crude oil imports. I don't think they want us to stop sending any of that energy.
I can't really disagree there with what Mark Carney is saying, as much as I do not really like him at all. He's just correct here in this particular instance. Like, just absolutely correct here. But here, it turns out maybe, and this is what I think is probably the actual fucking reasoning for as to what the reason why we eventually just ended up turning down the United States of America and telling them to go kick rocks, was because of the fact that they would have a bunch of restrictions on Canadian auto exports, because again, the U.S. makes shitty cars, so they have to protect their own shitty market. But more specifically, future trade deals and protections for Canadian language and culture. So, yeah, Trump basically wanted to fuck with the Gordie Howe Bridge in terms of like a lot of the French writing, in terms of because we're the ones specifically running the bridge and collecting the tolls for the bridge. But whatever, Trump doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He wanted to have a cut of that as well, and he wanted to basically get rid of the French language that was also written on the bridge. And if you know anything about Canada, that's a big fucking no-no, because all the Quebecois nationalists will be extremely fucking annoying about it. So it's just like, yeah, just put the French on there. It's like, whatever, who really cares, right? Like, it doesn't really hurt or harm anyone in particular. So I don't know, just like, leave it on there. Who really gives a shit? And mostly the fact that the president is jealous about the fact that we've been getting a lot of deals done, a lot of trade deals done with other countries, mostly because they all hate America, little bro.
I'm hoping you can tell us what the specific last-minute changes that the Americans proposed that made a deal in Tennessee.
Thank you for the question. Look, I would say two things. One is there are some specifics, and I'll give you some examples, but it was also a cumulative aspect, as I mentioned in my remarks, about the willingness dans l'ensemble in total to enter into a true economic partnership. But in terms of specifics, I'll give you three, and I know there's other questions. First, with respect to the auto industry, both in terms of the level of the tariffs, the treatment of Canadian content, so Canadian parts, Canadian steel, Canadian content in vehicles, the scope of the tariffs. Americans wanted to limit it to autos only, not include medium and heavy autos and light trucks, to be more specific, not include medium and heavy duty trucks, which is a big change, obviously.
Probably because they want to make all their stupid, dumb fucking Ford F-150s that abomination of a vehicle.
And with respect to Ford's new plan, for example, in Oakville, which is F-350s, 450s, 550s, they would have been excluded. GM Silverado, same thing, would have been excluded from that. No rationale, just for exclusion.
Whoa, so it turns out it's because of all the fucking pickup truck drivers. Oh. Daho being burdened with the gift of foresight, as always.
So effectively moving into a series of terms that would made the production more uneconomic over time. Okay, so that's a change. That restriction, that clarification, that precision was a change. The U.S. introduced in the last hours, efforts to restrict our ability to have other trade deals. You heard me say a moment ago what we.
Yeah, so I really do believe, I think that is probably the main reasoning for as to why Mark Carney, if I were to take a guess, decided to say to Trump, yeah, you can kick a bunch of rocks. The fact that the quote-unquote basis of free trade is basically being completely disrupted is absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's like, bro, like, what do you mean? Like, you're just basically jealous about the fact that, again, people like Mark Carney in comparison to your goofy looking head ass. Like, by the way, in terms of like Mark Carney saying no here, as much as I do not think he's going to get like or should get an increase in approval rating because of his like other not very good policies, but whatever, he's going to benefit significantly in terms of approval rating because of like Trump's just genuine like idiotic fucking actions when it comes to the fucking tariffs, and in terms of his like generalized fuck behavior. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, you're so fucking ridiculously bad at your job of trying to be a great deal maker. I'm such a good negotiator, folks. I'm so good at it, folks. Let me tell you, everyone likes me and nobody hates me. You do such a terrible job. It's making it such that Mark Carney, who may have started seeing some potential dips in terms of his polling because of the fact that his policies are fucking bad, is going to see a massive resurgence in terms of his popularity because of Trump's just utter belligerence and idiocy.
We've accomplished in the last year 20 new deals, economic and security partnerships. The prospect of doubling our market access because we believe in free trade. We're the partner of choice in many respects for countries around the world, and the Americans wanted to restrict that. They had language that they wanted to restrict. Unacceptable. And I'll give you a third, et peut-être on peut discuter plus en français. Continual efforts, always resisted, as I said in my remarks, and always will be resisted. Efforts to restrict our protections of our language, our culture, and in effect, our sovereignty. So elements coming in, ramping up, any of them individually, but collectively put us in a position where what had been on a trajectory.
Yeah, it's like I said before, that's the mention of the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Absent those elements, for a fair deal, a good deal for Canadians, not perfect, but a good deal, a deal we would not accept.
Mm-hmm. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, this shit's just like, it's cooked, it's Jover, it's like persona non fucking grata, dude. It's insane to me. But here, now we're using rhetoric like this, talking about how we are going to a metaphorical war. A trade war, of course, but like, honestly, like, how else can you really treat this in any other way besides, yeah, we are at a metaphorical war with the United States of America because the president has his ass, like, his head so far up his own fucking ass that he's just deciding to, I don't know, fuck with one of the best neighbors that the United States could have ever asked for like literally no reason except for the fact that he's a, well, brain broken fucking dumbass.
Does it feel like today Mark Carney is going to war? Trade war? The tone.
Because we were attacked. Like, when you get attacked, we got attacked. The U.S. put 50%. We waited until the United States decided to actually.
Dude, again, I mean, rhetorically speaking, this is going to play so fucking well because here's the thing. Those boycotts that started all the way back in 2020, or not 2020, in 2025, ever since Trump decided to start doing the whole sort of rhetoric about the 51st state, that's not stopped. It's kept going. Yeah. Which has been a complete disaster for a lot of American fucking industries, especially with tourism in the sort of like northeastern states right by the fucking Atlantic, you know, like your Maines and Vermonts of the world. Very, very often a lot of Canadians would visit those states. But those visits have stopped happening for, shall we say, reasons.
actually implement these so-called 338 tariffs. That's fine. We've got the reserves, we've got the resilience, we've got the plan, we've got the focus. We will respond. We're going to focus on what we can control. We're going to.
And quick reminder again, this is a breaking of Donald Trump's own fucking trade agreement, the USMCA or CUSMA. This is unironically a breaking of their own treaty. Why? Narcissism.
Why does it feel like today?
It's just fucking ridiculous that this is the position that we find ourselves under. But none of us should really be surprised with this. It's Trump we're talking about here. He's a fucking like brain broken moron. But here, David Dole with some additional details talking about all of this. Why don't we take a look?
And the deal with Canada is moving along, and we should be able to have a deal with Canada.
We cannot accept what they've offered, and we will not give what they've asked.
Well, Donald Trump was like constantly coping and saying that, yeah, it's going great with Canada. We're going to get a deal, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be great, folks. Wonder what happened.
Well, the trade talks are off and new tariffs are taking effect as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has rejected Donald Trump's trade bullshit. So in this video, I'm going to break down this great news because let's be real. Any deal that would have been signed, how could you possibly trust anything on it when Trump was the one to sign it, considering he is now violating his own trade deal in the USMCA with these new tariffs. So the idea of having any kind of reliable deal with somebody who is so full of garbage was always a ridiculous proposal. But let me first start with a quick history lesson before we get to what happened today and Mark Carney's speech and the breakdown. I am going to get to, of course, my overall thoughts and some reaction as well from other party leaders to this news. But first, just a quick jump through history so you know how we got to this point. Back on July 1st, the U.S. declines to extend CUSMA trade deal with Canada and Mexico. So this was not killing the deal.
Again, by the way, this is the exact same trade deal that Donald Trump negotiated for himself and gave himself a bunch of like extra veto powers if it wasn't quote unquote to his liking or whatever. And again, I don't think he ever pulled the veto card at any point in time, but he certainly thought about doing it.
Deal as the deal goes on until 2036, but it was an acknowledgement that Trump was not happy with the deal and wanted something new. So even though it is not killed off, any country can withdraw from the deal with 6 months notice. That gets us to
quick reminder. It's I think David Dole does say this specifically within his own video here. It's because America still wants to do their like stupid 51st state bullshit.
A month later, and being a month ago, when Donald Trump opposed or proposed to impose 50% tariffs on most Canadian goods. This is what I call the hug snub tariffs. This is right after he was snubbed at the World Cup by a few soccer stars, and it appeared to annoy him because let's go watch my breakdown on those tariffs. But the tariffs really appeared to come out of nowhere based on their reasoning that they were giving. It didn't make any sense. I break that all down in that video. You can go watch that. But that gets us to what these tariffs were going to be and are now. They will hit a wide range of products, also include goods previously protected from import taxes under the USMCA, or CUSMA as it's called in Canada. So again, Trump violating his own trade deal to put these tariffs in. Why could you possibly trust him, or how could you possibly trust him on a new trade deal? This gets us.
By the way, this is why you should never, like as again, David Dole is saying here, this is a motherfucker that you can never trust at any point in time because he's someone who does not believe in the broader concept of trust. So why should you ever take any deal whatsoever from Trump specifically? But yeah, we've taken a look through all of this, the Mark Carney sort of stuff, him yapping, blah, 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 blah. Also, yeah, I completely forgot. That's a good point there. Yeah, part of the reason why we even got some of these tariffs was because of quote-unquote fentanyl, which was one of the other excuses that Trump decided to trudge out. Yeah, because of fucking fentanyl, man. Like, coming through the border from north. Totally, bro. Basically, at every single point in time, it seemed like, I don't know, either Trump just wanted to use the USMCA or CUSMA or whatever in order to be able to muscle his way into not a position of power, but muscle his way into a place, let's say, where he can basically dictate any of the terms he wants in this sort of trade agreement, quote unquote, and just do the whole sort of like 51st state shtick by, well, effectively proxy. But I just want to get to the bit with Jameson Greer, because this motherfucker's a dishonest little fucking hack.
Our opinion piece, why did Canada give in to the Gordie Howe Bridget shakedown? This is from David Olive here, who writes, under the 2012 agreement, Canada was unnecessary. Finally, they have at least drawn a line here at this trade deal. So part of the Carney statement here says, last minute change in the U.S. proposed terms and this is highlighted because I'll get to what the U.S. is saying, but last-minute changes in the U.S. proposed terms were unfair, uneconomic, and called into question the reliability of any deal. Well, U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer says otherwise. Here's what he is claiming.
In-fucking-credible, dude. Yeah, totally. You and your whiff-waffly president who can't, like, I don't know, keep two thoughts straight. Sure, bro.
The decline to finalize the trade deal under the terms agreed earlier this week. Despite the U.S. offer to Canada to receive the best treatment of any major exporter to our market, new demands and walkbacks of other commitments by Canada have upended the careful balance reached in the past days.
It's complete fucking cope here, bro. It's like, no, dude, we're just pissed about the fact that literally you imposed tariffs on us because you wanted to do the whole 51st state fiasco. That didn't work. And then you wanted to bully us over like immigration and fentanyl coming over the border, which Justin Trudeau capitulated to for no reason. Typical. Even though it's only 0.1% or 0.01% of fentanyl comes over the north, but whatever. Does Trump care about that? No, because hypocrite. And what else? The hug snub. What other petty bullshit can we point to? Because there's a bunch.
Nobody believes you. You're trying to make us believe that you were the ones, the Trump administration were the ones that were having this careful balance, and that it was Canada with these unfair demands in the last minute. Fuck off. Fuck you. You're so full of shit. Even me as somebody who's been critical of Carney, I trust Carney here a hell of a lot more than any bullshit Trump lackey. So you can fuck right off. This guy.
And Jameson Greer, again, has been the main sort of point man, specifically with Trump, constantly talking about how, oh, we're going to do this particular trade action. Oh, we're going to do this particular thing in terms of, maybe not like trade, but like in terms of implementing particular economic policies and trade policy. It's all been through Jameson Greer, although honestly, like, how much input does he really have on any of this? That's ultimately a different question.
Gets to another part of Carney's statement here saying, we were not prepared to compromise Canada's sovereignty or undermine our key industries. We were not prepared to compromise on the protection of the French language or our culture. So this gives us
Again, that's what the Gordie Howe Bridge. We don't necessarily need to listen to the rest of the breakdown. We have listened to all of this. But the other thing that has remained consistent, again, in terms of Canadians, is when a lot of the boycotts were being called on the United States, in terms of like their products, in terms of like looking at, for example, and this is what I do specifically, going to the grocery store and seeing anything that has the term product of USA on it and just not buying it. Yeah, just not buying it.
Here is a breakdown from Justin Wolfers. This is he's an Australian-American economist. He's also a professor. Just a great summary here of what's been happening between Canada and the U.S. in terms of the relationship.
The president declared early on that he wanted Canada to be the 51st state.
I think also Harry Emden also went through a bunch of polling talking about how much we hate the United States of America for good reasons.
Whether they wanted it or not. To continue the analogy, he's not really that keen on consent. It turns out that's a terrible way to begin a relationship. And the problem in Canada right now is not what the Canadian government...
I can't believe that Donald Trump is a rapist.
...government's doing. It's what Canadians are doing. Canadians are going to the store and they're picking up products and they're saying, was this made in the United States or not?
Yep.
And if it's made in the United States, they put it back down. So Mark Carney and the Canadian government can sign any number of trade agreements, but you can't change what's in the heart of Canadians right now. They have an expression up there, elbows up, which is they're sick of being bullied. They don't want to be part of this game anymore. And no matter what trade deals...
even though that Mark Carney was not really sort of adhering to the principle of elbows up all that much initially, but hey, you know, here we are. Finally, like, about 2 years later.
Signed. Canadians don't want to spend time in the United States, for instance.
That's exactly right. Whatever trade deal, if there was a trade deal that was going to be signed, Canadians would have still continued doing two things. Not traveling to the U.S. and not buying U.S. products. So
because we fucking hate you guys.
Some quick data around that. CBS News reporting back in July, Canadian tourism to U.S. fell 25% in 2025.
Yep.
Other numbers put it even larger. So CBC writing here, travel to the U.S.
There's been a bunch of segments by the Majority Report talking about various news segments. I think on like CBS and ABC, I think, where they all just had a bunch of like hotel owners, not hotel owners, but like there was like motel owners and a bunch of other like people who ran like tourist attractions right around the northeastern parts of the United States of America, where very, very often a lot of Canadian tourists would come in order to visit the United States of America. And all these guys were talking about like, yeah, it's going to be really difficult for us to like maintain our business because the Canadians are just not showing up anymore.
The U.S. is down even more dramatically than we thought, cratering by 42% over the last year, and that is according to cell phone data compiled by researchers at U of T's School of Cities. And worth mentioning, Canadians are still traveling, and traveling in even larger numbers, just not to the U.S., as domestic travel by Canadians rose by 5.1 million, a boon to the country's economy, while total visits to destinations outside the U.S. rose by 1.3 million. So Canadians are deciding not to go to the U.S., and in fact are deciding to go elsewhere in larger numbers. In addition to that, as mentioned, provincial bans on U.S. alcohol sales have had a dramatic effect on U.S.
Yeah, that is specifically from Dougie right there, right? So for example, in terms of a lot of the provinces, have their own state-run like liquor stores. So for example, in Canada it's LCBO, or in Quebec it'd be SAC, and there's like a couple of other ones. I think there's one in Alberta and one in also BC. All privately not privately owned, but publicly owned and funded by taxpayer dollars, except for probably the one in Alberta, because evil, hell place, sure. And as a result of that, specifically, it has been basically like it's been made such that a lot of American spirits and a lot of American sort of alcoholic beverages from mostly Republican states have not been being imported in, because we're just like, yeah, you know what, you people can go fuck yourselves.
Companies. So Canadian imports of U.S. alcohol beverages are down by 81% year over year. And in addition to the provincial bans, Canadians just decide not to buy American just generally when they can. Now, some reactions from the...
I'm not really looking to get into the reactions. All I have to say is I just want to skip to Pierre Poilievre's reaction real quick. Even Pierre Poilievre is coming out against the actions of the United States of America. You know it is bad when Pierre Poilievre is saying that, oh, what America is doing here is kind of bad. Yeah, it's not great. Like, it's not going to work out here for us Canadians at all whatsoever. Bro probably saw, again, as David Dole has also said himself, bro saw the polling, was just like, yeah, I need to start shitting on America more. Yeah, you probably should. But I mean, like, what else is there to really say? It's been made very evident and clear, and I guess it took about 2 years to get here, that there is no point in negotiating with the U.S., there is no point in capitulating to them, there is no point in talking with them, because the United States has made it extremely, extremely fucking clear that they themselves are not interested in any form of negotiations. They do not believe in the concept of trust. Hell, like, I don't even think Trump believes in the concept of trade agreements, because he's probably too stupid to understand what they mean. Many such cases, by the way, you know, to be expected from someone like Donald Trump, who seemingly barely has any idea like what he's doing or what he's talking about consistently. But whatever. Here we are, more fucking tariffs for what exactly? Oh, all because of like some old avaricious pedophilic narcissist can essentially be told, hey, you know what? Stop it. Get some help. You're making everything harder for everybody for literally no reason, and you can go fuck yourselves. Or at the very least, it's what us Canadians are saying, specifically to the people within power in the United States of America. Don't think there's really much else to say besides that. Okay. I think I'm going to call it there for today. I am so tired. It's time for me to go to sleep. I am a sleepy, sleepy boy. And we had some other stuff we needed to cover as well, but I'm just way too damn tired. The whole Natalie Harp stuff is like really, really funny. Ooh, sleepy. Very sleepy. Want to go to bed. This is what I get for being a cat dad, huh? No sleep. Who to raid out to today? Everything all in one window. Rating. Let's raid out to neurodetergent. Alright, dorks. You know what to do. You know what to say, of course. If you are a sub, you say you've been blessed by Romanian Jesus with the transfer out of the Daha Raid buff. If you're a non-sub, you say the Wowie with the Daha Raid buffs. I would show appreciation to those who are into Nikki's gamers. I will be back probably tomorrow. We'll see how long the wedding goes on or something. I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, so we'll see what happens there. Otherwise, gamers, I will be back tomorrow, maybe, but for sure Monday. Same time, same place, same face. Peace out, gamers.